You've made it to the final lesson, and the final lesson is about creating content. Now, this is to design your first campaign, okay? We're not going to get into the technical content like Facebook ads and, other conversion content, niche content, attraction content. I'm just going to give you one of the simplest formulas that has allowed my clients to generate the maximum amount of leads in such a short space of time without spending loads of time doing the content. It's just a much quicker activation way to get you taking action. Basically, this is the easiest way to get you to take action, because the quicker you take action, the faster you're going to see results. Okay, so that's the deal, right? This is not going to be one of those courses where people teach you all the marketing degree and the jargon that they've learned and what they're doing. So this is not that kind of video. So I just wanted to say that as a side note, so you won't be bamboozled and bedazzled by all my jargon. It's going to be so simple that you can actually take action today. I'm going to give you 5 simple content pillars that can be applied to any business. I'm not in a position to be able to personalize them because I don't know who you are. So these are the 5 simple, absolute must, the absolute bare minimum pillars that any business should have when they're posting on social media. And these are case studies, industry news / current affairs, educational posts, personal branding, and then network and community. So these pillars are broken down into 5 because you could use one pillar for every day, for example. Okay. And that helps you break down. If you're wondering, what do I post on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday? Let's break it down. Let's do an easy 5-step content strategy. If you were to do one post a day, which is very easy to do once you've got this formula. Let's say you were going to do one on LinkedIn on a Monday, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday. Then you've got enough for 5 days of the week. Exciting, right? Because right now you're probably thinking, that's too much. I've got nothing to say. I don't know where I'm going to begin. It's okay. I'm going to tell you what to say. It doesn't matter which one of the days you pick. You've got 5 topics now, and you can split all 5 between all the 5 different days. Agreed? So the first pillar is case studies. Now, every business, okay, especially if you have at least one client, should have case studies all over the website, in your newsletters, on LinkedIn, on social media, everywhere, in your presentations, even when you're presenting on stage. Your case studies are the number one story, right? This is your customer's story, the 0 to hero transformation. It's all about that because, as I said earlier in the video, facts tell, stories sell. So what's really powerful about a story is that people love stories. You can connect with people on an emotional level. You can relate to them. You can help them see themselves in that story. And so case studies are going to be your number one lead converter, in my opinion, because you might be very good at, posting you at the pub and you with your kids, and you're like a nice guy, you're like a friendly person, you're like, I love that person. However, if you have no case studies, I just like you as a person. I'm not going to trust and put my business in your hands and put my life in your hands because I don't know if you can deliver. The case studies for me are a conversion post because they help convert my likes and my followers into paying customers. My case studies show you I know what I'm talking about because I have the facts to prove it. So on any day of your choice, on LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever you want to do, you want to be posting case studies, okay? So you might do a case study every Monday. Now, you might choose the same case study. You might be thinking, oh gosh, does that mean I need 50 case studies a year? Or do I need 365 content ideas per annum? Absolutely not. I often talk about the same stuff, the same themes, and the same stories. I mean, my stories don't change. I was only made redundant once, and I just keep milking that story. So that's it. I mean, until anything more exciting happens to me, I've got nothing more interesting to say. I really have a very sheltered, neutral, very easy life. So I've not really got that many rags to riches stories or exciting emotional stories, right? And I'm grateful for my easy life. I'm great. I'm not going to complain that I haven't had the drama, but there's not really much drama to talk about. So My stories don't change very much. I just use the same stuff, but I say it in different ways. And remember, I get this all the time, right? Where I get a client saying, but we already said this. We posted about this a month ago. I'm like, yeah, but a month ago you had 300 followers. This month you've got 450. So there's 150 new people that have joined your network that wouldn't have seen your post from a month ago. And it's not just about your followers, but your posts reach a cold audience as well that may not necessarily click follow. So on any given day, even if you post about the same thing, which you shouldn't, you can't just keep repeating the same post over and over again, because your existing followers will get bored and they've got nothing new to read, right? So what I'm trying to say though is, you don't need to think of something new, brand new and creative every single day, because that's where people start to procrastinate, because they think, well, how do you have so many things to say? I've got nothing to say. Well, actually, I've got themes and pillars, like these content pillars that I'm giving you, and I stick to those pillars. And then when I'm stuck, I think, have I posted a case study? No? Okay, let's post a case study. So that's pillar number one. That is hugely important. So what I want you to do is, in your exercise, is look at the latest completions, your latest successes, your latest transformational stories. And if you can, what would make the post more interesting is if you could invite your client to do a joint post. Maybe they might be happy to feature in a video. Maybe they might be happy to feature in a photo. That's a bit more advanced. But if they're not happy to feature and they want to be kept anonymous, that should not stop you at all from posting about that case study. You can still keep the client anonymous. You don't have to mention any detail about them, but you can certainly talk about the journey, the transformation, the problem that they had and how you solved it, and make it a bit more neutral and anonymous. You can absolutely do that. Another way to share case studies is by showing testimonials. So as my pop-ups here will show you, I love screenshotting messages from clients, and I like sharing those in my Instagram stories or my LinkedIn posts. And I like talking about the successes that my clients have had. That again breeds positivity. So case studies, and collect as many testimonials and reviews as you possibly can, please. The next pillar is industry news. Now, whatever industry you're in, I'm sure you've got some sort of magazine, media, press, whatever. I'm sure there's someone out there pumping out information about the industry. Now, again, with the theme of mortgage brokers, there are so many magazines and publishers out there, even the BBC, lots the TV, lots of stuff posting about, the current economy, the mortgage rates. So you've actually got content all around you all the time. So what I often say is convert that piece of news into your own content. So if you know that the Bank of England base rate, for example, is going to go up or down, be sure that on that day you are ready. You don't need a studio. Okay, I'm only doing these kind of studio videos. If you look at any of my content, by the way, just as a side note, another side note, if you look at any of my content that I've done on Instagram, LinkedIn, most of the time I've got my hair scraped back in a bun. I'm in my shed working, or I'm out and about, and I'm recording most of the time on my phone. I'm busy recording my clients and doing like camera confidence for them and things like that, because they're not confident to just pick up the phone and record themselves. And sometimes it is important to have a professional setting. Of course it is. So for my videos for YouTube, I'm having a mix of candid stuff and some of the professional stuff. So please don't think that on the day of the Bank of England base rate, or when the news hits your industry, you need to be in a studio recording it, okay? That is not the case. So back to what I was saying. If there is an industry body that you follow that has the latest news, or maybe you're reading Men's Health and you love that magazine, you can get content inspiration from that magazine. So promise yourself that and you don't have to be in fitness, by the way, to post about Men's Health. You could be a mortgage broker, but absolutely love CrossFit. And on a Tuesday, you commit to doing your CrossFit Tuesday mindset post, lessons that CrossFit has taught you, or your videos from CrossFit and, how you like to take care of your health and your body. Or you might choose that, you love reading My Protein or you love reading Men's Health and you want to take some inspiration from that industry magazine. But ideally, that category of industry and current affairs will be relating to your industry. So you want to be educating your audience. So let's park that Men's Health idea for another category, unless you're a fitness instructor and therefore Men's Health magazine and releasing news around that kind of topic is relevant. But if you are in any industry, just think about news that your clients would absolutely appreciate knowing. News about rates, about, tariffs, news about the food industry, whatever you're in, share the news. Now, the third one is educational posts. So anything like this is a very long educational post about marketing and content, but I can break this up into lots of mini different segments. I can create YouTube shorts, I can create short reels, I can create little mini videos for LinkedIn. But educational posts could be one very quick 60-second post about from me to you. It could be something like how to record a 60-second reel on TikTok, or it could be content hooks. Yeah, there we go. So it could be an educational video about content hooks that go viral on Instagram. Let me tell you in 30 seconds. So that would be an educational post. I'm teaching you something. I'm not making you guess it for yourself, and I'm not selling it to you. I'm not saying to you, do you want 25 viral hooks? Well, then contact me today and I'll send them to you. That's not an educational post. An educational post will be, here are the best 25, I can't even say it myself. Here are the top 25 hooks that have gone viral on LinkedIn this year. And I'm going to break them down for you. And then I would just reveal the education. I would give that to you. So educational posts are another key pillar. Now, pillar number 4 is personal branding. So this is where, going back to your personal branding document, you would extract a personal anecdote. So it could be the redundancy story. It could be how my Dubai story, how I woke up when I was 30, I was in the tallest building in the world, but then when I got back, I lost my job and job security, So that's my Dubai story. It could be my story about how I moved from Italy to England and I had to learn a new language and that I built loads of resilience. That could be another story. So that story category is about showing the personal side to me. It's about being relatable. It's about being authentic, right? Not about selling or educating or teaching you something or sharing industry news. It's about you getting to know me as a person. So it might be a really simple post on a Friday saying, happy Friday, everyone. Hope you've had an amazing week. I'm going to promise myself that I won't work over the weekend because I really owe my husband a date night and we need to have some quality time together. So I hope that this is a gentle reminder to you that you two need some time out. I literally just made up that post on the spot. Like, I don't know how that came out and if you liked it and if you were following me, but that post, I just made it up on the spot. And that's just what I'm talking about, being a little bit more casual, a bit more candid, a bit more genuine rather than scripted, structured and methodical. If I'm going to teach you something, if I'm going to do an educational post, I want to make it interesting, but it's less about me as a person and more about what you need to learn. And finally, in category number 5, I've put in there networking and community. So what do I mean by that? So if you go to networking events, maybe on that particular day, you dedicate it to the event that you were at. So what I like to do, and this is the art of getting it right versus not, is if you are already spending time offline, engaging with people and networking, I love you for that. Well done. But you are missing out on solidifying that relationship by not adding them on social media. If you're not adding them, you're going to be forgotten. They were just someone you just once had coffee with. So you want to add your offline connections online. So if you've been to a networking event, take a selfie with everyone in the room. Take a few selfies with people that have been there. In fact, I've got one that I can show you. So if you come onto my LinkedIn profile here, my latest post, in fact, as I record this, One of my latest posts, it's still kind of brewing, it's still building a little bit of traction here. I took a few selfies on a night out. I was with a lender and I took a few selfies with some lovely, friendly people in the room. And then I posted a congratulations post, giving a shout out to the lender, saying, thank you for inviting me. Obviously, people are commenting and engaging, again, people within my audience. And that wasn't a sales pitch. It's not an educational post. It's a post about me in the industry networking with my peers. And I will show you how I've also applied this 5-step content strategy that I've just given you, how I do it myself. So let's look at my LinkedIn posts and let's analyze them and dissect them, shall we? So let me break it down. Posts. This post is an educational post that I've just done about how first impressions on LinkedIn really count, and that in the past we used to make, your first impression was in the room, shaking hands with people. But now I often meet people online first and offline second. So I'm teaching people about the digital handshake and about how instead of using LinkedIn as your CV, you could use it as an opportunity to build your brand. So that's an educational post. So you can see that I've just done that there. Okay, let's look at a couple more so that we can dissect how I'm portraying myself online. Okay, so this is a blend. This is more personal branding. So this post that I did 2 days ago, I started with, I'll be honest, sometimes I don't actually enjoy running a business, not because I don't love it, because I really do, but because I've built this habit of measuring my whole mood against how productive I've been. Life, like if I've smashed through my to-do list, I'm buzzing. But if I've had a slower day, instantly I'm annoyed at myself. And honestly, that's exhausting. So I'm giving although I'm advertising the podcast that I've just done with Sophie Foote, I've turned it into a more of a personal post, a personal branding post, because I wanted to show people, my mindset, how I think. And in fact, people who have commented, let me show you. Like, for example, this person, 100% easily confused with ambition. You see, people are relating to this. It gets engagement. George said, love this, Rosalia. That guilt, whilst exhausting, is because you care. So it helps people get to know you, and it helps people it makes people have something to say. Do you know what I mean? Like, that story would get people to comment and say, do you know what, Ros? I feel the same. Guys, we've made it. It's the end of the video. You should now have a robust strategy to at least get you started, okay? This is to get you taking action, to get moving, and to practice the steps that I have done solidly for 5 years to build a phenomenal business. Phenomenal for me. It works for me. I love it. I'm so proud of what I've built, and I want you to feel the same. It is not easy, okay? I know it's not easy. I didn't promise you fame overnight, okay? And I didn't promise you 6 figures in just one click of a button. But you will not recognize yourself. You will not recognize your business this time next year. If you apply those lessons, you will absolutely take your business to the next level, as I've seen every single one of my clients who take action do so. Like, they have absolutely achieved those goals. But those clients or those people that perhaps didn't take those actions, I know, even though we're still friends, I know that they haven't achieved the results that they wanted. And that is down to you. Now, I don't know who you are, so it's down to you to take action. I'm not there to push you. I'm not there to hold your hand. But I have given you the workbook, and I hope I'm there in spirit because you've heard the lessons and you've seen the workbook and you've hopefully applied those lessons. So what happens next? Well, you're part of this community now. You're part of the on-brand community. So let's connect on social media. Come find me on there on Instagram. I'm there as Rosalia Lazara. On LinkedIn, I'm obviously there as Rosalia Lazara, and on TikTok. So those are typically my favorite platforms that I like to spend some time on. Now, in the show notes, if you are also interested in other events or other things that we've got going on at Manuka Media, for example, you can also subscribe to our newsletter and stay up to date with our latest news. But how can you make the most out of being part of this community? Well, it is by simply making your request requests in the comments. I would love your suggestions and requests for what other kind of videos you'd like me to make. What other topics would you like me to break down? What kind of topics would you like me to teach you more about? So please do make your requests. I would love to hear what topics come to mind. And if perhaps I have already created videos of that kind, then you can actually check out all the other videos that I've created on this channel as well. And if there is something missing, please tell me. I would love to know. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm so glad I've been there with you, taking you on this journey. And I really hope you've got lots of value from this. So again, the final request is come and let me know if you've had, great results, if you've had a breakthrough, a light bulb moment. I'd love to hear from you. Social media channels is the best way to reach out to me. Thank you so much for being here on the On Brand Show.